All right, let's wait for Sila. I think Sila just went out, but we will start the training for today. So good evening again. We are going to continue working on our existing project, and we are not creating a new project. We are still working on our existing project. So please, we already know how to open our existing project now. By now, we should be able to open it. Once you open, please click on the GIS Training 2024. Once you click on the ArcGIS Pro app on your Windows search, you should be able to see the ArcGIS Pro app interface like this. Then you go to your recent project. Please click on your recent project. Of course, we are still on layout. We're still on layout. I think in our previous in our in our previous session, what I said was we were going to stop with the layout for now. Yeah, I think the major thing we need to do on layout for now is the grid, because every map should have a grid. So we will leave that one for now. But anything artistic, maybe I mean like a drawing or whatever, I think we've exhausted everything. Putting in our not arrows, our scale bars, I mean our title block. We call this the title block. Our company logo, path, border. I think we have been able to exhaust that under graphics and text. This is where we do a lot of graphics works, and then of course under not arrow we have various not arrows, and then we also have our scale bar and legend, and of course we have our dynamic text. This is where we go to look for path and other dynamic text which we can use on our layout. So for now, I want you guys to we are going to go back to our map view, because over the previous days we've been working mainly in our layout view. So now we are going to go back to our map view, and all you need to do is to click on the map, and then you are on map view. This is where you do all your dirty job. This is where you do um, your digitizing, changing of symbols. Basically, the dirty job is mainly a digitization or tracing. So this is where you do all of that work on the map view. And then when you come to layout view, this is where you do all your graphical work, map production, you export to PDF or JPEG. Of course, we all know now how to export JPEG or PDF by going to share, you go to export layout, and then you go to flatten PDF. And then once you have your export window activated, now you can select your file type, the folder you want to save your PDF, and then also your resolution, your vector resolution. Please make sure when you enter the training, you switch off your microphone, please. And of course, I earlier said that for the vector resolution, if you specify a certain number, the higher the resolution. That means you're going to have um, your file size is going to be um, bigger. It means your file mega byte or megapixel is going to be a little bit bigger. So the higher the DPI, the higher the file size. The lower the DPI, the lower the file size. So we just need to remember that. You can even see that if you use a DPI of, let's say, 50, you will notice that the map resolution is going to be blurred. The moment you start zooming in on your PDF, you see that you start losing the information. So we need to try all of these using lower DPIs and using higher DPIs. But also remember, when you are using higher DPI value, let's say 300, 400. In fact, depending on the layers you have on your project and depending on the type of data you have on your project, can also determine the DPI you use. You can use a DPI of 300 on your map and get a file size of 10 or 20 megabytes. And with that 10 or 20 megabytes, you can't send through email. You just have to copy. So let's say you are doing a map for your boss, and the boss say, please, when you are done making the map, please email me. And then your file size is 20. I don't know how you are going to email that one to your boss. So always be aware of this when you are doing your final export. So let's go back to map view. Let's go back to map view. I hope you guys are seeing my screen. All right. So once we are back in map view, we already know what is in map view. We know that under our contents, we know that under our content, we have all our layers, which we have already generated. These are data that we have generated from the imagery we see. You remember I said that this imagery has geographic features. Based on what we see on the image, you can digitize geographic features. For example, when you zoom into this particular area of our map, you will notice this whitish coloration. It means these areas are sand piles or tailings or sand piles or sand tailings. You can also see small road networks coming to these areas, to the sand piles. So these are all information that you can digitize. These are all roads. You can see the pond. You can also digitize this pond and determine the size of the pond. If you digitize all the ponds within the mining lease area, you should be able to know which one is the largest, which one is the smallest. You can now use that one to say, okay, well, if this is the largest pond, then is it possible that we can use this maybe for processing or maybe for supplying to the communities and stuff like that? So we have a lot of information on this imagery. But for today, I want us to look at a different data set, which is the Sierra Leone 50K tuple. Remember, I said that we should copy the Sierra Leone 50K tuple to our C drive, um, to our C drive, to our C drive, GIS training, GIS data, and also Swirling data. I'm going to share the screen with you. I know we have already done that, but just going to share the screen with you. All right. So this is where we saved our Sierra Leone data. And if you open Sierra Leone data, if you double click on the folder, you will see different folders within the Sierra Leone data. This is data that has already been created by someone or by some organization. So it's a different type of data that you created from the satellite imagery. This is data that has been created by an organization, let's say Statistics Sierra Leone or WHO, or you just name them, or mining companies that have generated this data. And so now we want to use these data sets to produce our maps. We want to use this, maybe a colleague, maybe from geology, from survey, maybe from mine planning, has generated a data set, maybe in an Excel or on a PDF, sorry, or on a an AutoCAD file, and you want to bring it to your software. So this is how we go about it. I'm going to share my app screen with you. Okay, so now we can see the ArcGIS Pro app. And now, can we please go to add data? So each time you want to add a data, you can click on add data here. That is existing data. And then the add data window pops up. And then once you have your add data window, you go to this PC. Now you navigate to where your data has been saved or where you have saved your data. You can save your data anywhere on your computer. You can save it under your libraries, under your documents, under your pictures, under your videos. But for this training, our data is saved under this PC, data bank, GIS training. You go to GIS data, and then you come to serial data, and then you go in serial data. And now, remember, I said we should extract the building file, zip file. We should extract the railway files. We should extract the serial 50K tuple and also the SL ADMB NDA admin dataset. So I suppose we have all extracted these files and now we are ready to use the files on our GIS app. So please kindly go to serial 50K tuple, you double click, and then once you see the file, the raster, the type, the raster dataset, all you need to do is to click on the serial 50K maps.sid. You click on the dataset. Once you click on the dataset under name, you will see that the dataset you have selected will be activated here in the box. You now have name serial 50K. It means this is the data that you want to start adding to your map. So once you click on serial 50K to pull, all you need to do is to click OK. All right. So I'll give you guys some minutes to add the serial 50K to put to your map view. Remember, guys, we are under map view, not on layout view. If you are still on layout view, please go to map view. So I'll give you some minutes for you guys to add the serial 50K to pull. You click on add data, and then you see the add data window is has been activated. All you need to do is to click on this PC, and then you go to your C drive, and then you go to GIS training, and then you have your GIS data, and then you have your serial data, and then you go to the extracted file, the serial 50K topo base map. You double click, you double click, and then you have your serial 50K maps.sid. You click on that file, and then the selected file name will be activated in the box here. And then once you do that, please click OK. Are we together? Hello? All right. Okay. So good news. I'm happy. Once I get a positive response from you guys. Okay. So now we have our 50K serial to pull on our map. Um, Under content here, can you please go to your content? Now you have your serial 50K map.sid. So you have your map, you have your base map. So now we have a base map which is serial 50K to pull. If you click the visibility now, I mean, you've switched off this layer, the serial 50K to pull map. Now you can see your world imagery. You can as well switch off the world imagery Now all you see is a white background. If you want your Sierra Leone 50K to pull back, you can have only your 50K to pull map. Remember, these two are base maps. These two are base maps. So we only generate information from base maps. If we want to generate a new information, we generate it on base maps. Okay? So for example, I'm going to zoom into this area and you guys can see that you have lines. You have lines. These lines are called contour lines. And these lines, there are values associated to these lines. You can see that this particular line is 450. 450. And you can also see this particular line is 650. It means if this is 450 and this is 650, if you count 1, 2, 3, you have three lines in between 450 and 650. So what does that tell you? That tells you that these lines are 50-50, either meter or feet interval. So let's say this is 450, the thicker line is 500, 550, 600, 650. I'll come again. If you zoom on this Sierra Leone 50K topo, you will see lines. You will see lines. You see contour lines. These lines are elevation values. Okay, these lines are elevation values. You see, this is 250, and you see another line here. This is 300. So if you want to know the value of this line, it means this is 350 because the lines are in an interval of 50, either 50 meter or 50 feet. But the Shalom K 50K topo is in feet. So when you see these values, always remember that these values, this count of values are in feet and not meters. So this is 250 feet, this is 300 feet, and this is what? 350 feet. You can see that this is like going uphill. And if you are going down this end, you are going downhill. And you will notice that you see some shrubs designed like green and maybe some sticks is showing you that this could be swampy areas in between the hills. So this is one key information we see on the Sierra Leone 50K topo. We also see the blue lines, and these blue lines, they have been labeled with blue labeling. For example, you can see the Mondange, Mondenge River. So this is Mondenge River, and then you can see this blue, this the bigger blue, whatever, the bigger blue polygon. This is like the bigger um, stream or I don't know how to put it, but this is a bigger river. And then you can see the streams connecting to the river. You can see, for example, Jong. This is the Jong River. And you can see the streams and the tributaries reporting to the river. You can see all the streams reporting to the river. This is Jong River, Taye or Jong River. So I think we also have another key information on this 50K topo. You see the lines, these dotted lines, these are geological drill lines. You can see the cut lines. You know, for the geologists who are part of this training, you can see the cut lines um, which are arranged. You can see these are geological drill lines. We saw the same features um, on the how to put it, on the world imagery. So if you look on the imagery, you will see some geological drill lines. You see, So the same with the Sierra Leone 50K topo, you see geological or exploration drill lines are on this. And then the key reason why I said we should bring the Sierra Leone 50K topo, you see that the points which we generated, you see your points, and then if you look on the Sierra Leone 50K topo, you will notice that, for example, the name, this name, and then the dotted, the small dots, the black dotted points. This represents settlement. This is a settlement. This is a settlement. This is a settlement. This is a settlement. 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 Settlement with their names. But remember, when we created, guys, when we created the points, we could not label the point simply because we didn't know the exact name of the points. So, but now we have added the Sierra Leone 50K topo map because the 50K topo map has a detailed geographic feature of Sierra Leone. So now we can clearly say this particular point, the name of that point representing the settlement is Mokepe. Mokepe. Okay. And then say if you come to this other point that we have digitized, you will see that this point is Pangbama. And then you can, let's take another settlement that we generated. This one too, you see the name of the village. This point, the name should now be Jongshuela. So now what we're going to do is we are going to edit this point, which is settlement, using the Sierra Leone 50K topo map. Okay, are we there? All right. So now we want to start labeling our point using the Sierra Leone 50K topo map. So this is what we're going to do. Can you guys please open your attributes of the settlements layer? You right click on settlement, you click on attribute table. You right click, click on attribute table. Please right click on settlement under your content table, and then you click on attribute table. Once you click on attribute table, you will see your attribute table settlement open, and you can see the title of your attribute table called settlement. Now under name, we need to edit this column for name. Remember, we left this one open because we didn't know the names of the points or the names of the settlements. I'm going to take off the Sierra Leone 50K topo. You will see that the point which we generated from the satellite imagery is on a certain settlement. But on the world imagery, we cannot specify which settlement is this. But when you display your Sierra Leone 50K topo, now you see the dots and then the name of the settlement. So you'll now be able to say this point is called Jongshuela. So now your first point, you are going to double click your first point and let's see where the map will take you to. So please double click your first point under your attributes table. All right. Okay. So for me, my first point, now if you look on this map, you will notice that where I digitized my first point is here, and there is no settlement around this point. But if you look closely in the area, you will notice that there is a village down here called Mogwemo. So I'm going to switch off the 350k to pull. Now you remember now what you will notice is when they created this map, maybe in the 90s or in the 1950s or 60s, when they created the 350k to pull, Mogwemo was like Mogwemo was like a small village here. But now on the world image, which is like a present satellite photograph of the community, you will now see that the community has grown significantly. So it means this point, I will have to give this name Mogwemo. So now I will come under my name here. I'll double click on that name. Then I will now type this village, Mogwemo. All right. Then I'll hit enter on my keyboard. So can you please do that for your first point? Please double click on your first point. Once you double click on your first point, you will be taken to that point. You will be taken to that point, and now you see the name of the settlement, and that is the name you should input on that name. I'm going to double click the second point. I'll double click the second point on my map. Okay, there is no community on based on the CLM50K topo. So this means that this is a new settlement. This is Moriba Town even. Let me see if we have Moriba Town very close. Um, okay, so we don't have Moriba Town. I already know this community. This is Moriba Town. So it means it means when please when you enter the training, make sure you switch off you mute your microphone. All right. So it means that this the time the CLM50K topo was developed, that time Moriba Town was not in existence. That means Moriba Town was not in existence. The time the because currently your my satellite imagery is showing a village or a town here, which is Moriba Town. And I'll tell you, this is a new community as a result of the mining activity happening within this area. It's a new community. It means the date and time when this Sierra Leone 50K topo was developed, that time, this community has not been in existence. But I already know the name of the community. So I'm going to type Moriba Town. And then I will hit enter on my keyboard. All right. I'm going to double click my third point. Now you will see that my third point is exactly on the point, and you can see the name of the point, which is Mobomo. So I'm going to type Mobomo here. All right. Now I'll double click my fourth point. Now you see it's Lago Junction. So I'm going to type Lago Junction on a name. Are we together, guys? Okay, I need more responses, please. Are we together? Are we doing it? Okay, okay, good. So guys, can you please okay, okay. So um can you please tell me where you stopped, please? 50K to pull. Okay. Have you added the 50K map? Yes. Yes, have you added it to your map view? Okay, so please please go to add data. So anytime you have an existing data that is saved on your PC, remember I said we should save the sharing data on our PC, GIS training, GIS data, sharing data. Do you remember that? So that is an existing data that has been created by an organization or someone, okay? Or maybe your colleague from another department, let's say geology, mine planning, or survey, has generated a particular data, and now you have saved that data, or that data is stored on a local drive or on a network drive, and then you want to access that data. So if you want to add that data to your map, you please click on add data. Please click on add data. All right, so when you click on add data, you will see that the add data window is activated, right? Are you there? Is your add data window has been activated? Not so. Hello? Okay, fine. So please go to your PC, go to your local drive, and then go to the folder you created for GIS training, go to GIS data, and then go to Sierra Leone data, and then go to Sierra Leone data, go to Sierra Leone 50K topo base map. You double click open. I think we've been kicked out of the training. I will restart the training again.